ahead on 12 News Weekend, seeing windows in a new light.
It's kind of like writing music.
Meet the Maple Grove man who turns glass into art. Plus, our interview with Punch Pizza co-owner John Puckett. We ask him about his secrets for success. But first, a city embraces what will soon become the new majority.
I like it very diverse. Yeah, you know, it's teaching our kids something as well.
12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Blaine Cleveland. Brooklyn Park still pays homage to its potato farming past. It's also celebrating its future.
Minnesota's sixth largest city is the state's second most diverse. As Sonia Goins reports, the city has plans to embrace different cultures.
Look around Brooklyn Park and you'll see people from different races and ethnic backgrounds.
We're already at 51% people of color. That includes African Americans, African culture, Southeast Asians.
Many of the stores and shops are reflective of the diverse community.
They want to raise their children here. They like to shop at the local grocery stores where they can buy their ethnic foods and ingredients. It's just easy access and it's convenient.
Now, researchers estimate the white population will go down to 50% in the next 5 years. And what that means is there will be an equal amount of minorities living in the city.
People have a sense of community here. People like the proximity. It's easy access to 694, 169, 252.
I've been here 12 years now.
Dante Williams says he moved to the city because of the diversity.
Actually, I love it. My kids are half white, half black, so that's something we thrive on, and that's one reason in particular why we moved into this area.
The fastest growing minority populations in Brooklyn Park are African, Black, and Asian populations.
Our Twin City become like a multicultural community, but we still concentrate on our own group, you see.
The Reverend helped to form the Council of Asian Pacific Minnesotans.
I support for diversity. That make our country so rich.
He says there's still work to be done when it comes to people getting to know people outside of their culture.
We just see each other across the street. We haven't come to shake hands or talk to each other yet.
He also says that city officials should get to know the diverse communities they serve a little better.
I think that the public sector, the public officer have to come to know the community, so to know that they serve to the public, and we can feel at home with them.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Brooklyn Park will hold a celebration called Diversity Fest on Saturday, June 14th. It will feature ethnic foods, crafts, and entertainment.
Brooklyn Park is also preparing for what it refers to as a silver tsunami. 10,000 baby boomers will turn 65 every day for the next 16 years. In Brooklyn Park, the aging population will affect everything from housing and transportation to community programming. City officials expect graying baby boomers will be more active in retirement and require different services. It's one reason the city is creating a task force to meet the needs of an aging demographic.
We're going to have to figure out how do we change to meet this growing, changing demand. And so rather than try to make it up ourselves, we would rather ask the residents who know it, who live it, who work in this, and ask them for what they would want to see.
The Brooklyn Park Task Force hopes to have recommendations ready by early next year.
The rain this spring has already reached near record territory, and we've just entered what is typically the wettest month of the year. At area golf courses, all of the recent rainfall has soaked up some of the business. It's been a double whammy at Edinburgh USA, which had to push back planned course improvements a few weeks. Manager Don Berry says the wet spring has definitely taken a toll on the course's bottom line.
We're down 10% from last year, but that's comparing to another poor year. So I'd say from average, we're down about 20%. And some of it's weather, certainly, but a lot of it is our renovation project.
Other golf courses like Theodore Wirth and Cinderbrook reported similar problems. Cinderbrook actually closed last Sunday because a creek between holes 1 and 2 overflowed.
In our week in review, Crystal police are investigating the theft of a parade float. The Zurich Shriners used this trailer for their steel drum band. It was stolen sometime during overnight hours last weekend at a parking lot along West Broadway Avenue. The theft could force the charity group to alter summer parade plans. North Memorial nurses are raising awareness about a new staffing proposal that they say is unsafe for patients. Under the plan, North Memorial Medical Center would cut back on nursing assistants, and the number of patients that nurses care for would increase. Nurses believe it could result in more patient falls and delayed medication. They are planning an informational picket later this month. And a project that Maple Grove officials consider vital to the city is moving forward. The City Council this week approved a concept plan for the proposed TRICARE development just west of Menards. A developer proposes a mixture of office, retail, and three-story apartment buildings on the 96-acre site. The city considers the project an important one because of its close proximity to the future Highway 610 interchange. Also in Maple Grove, a much-anticipated business opening.
I'm looking forward to it. Punch Pizza will open at the shops at Arbor Lakes at the end of the month. This weekend, we take a look at what's behind the success at Punch Pizza, and we talk with one of the co-owners, the same man who founded Caribou Coffee. Here's Alexander Renslow.
We make pizza exactly how it's made in Naples, Italy.
Step inside any Punch Pizza location and you'll find an open kitchen and the crackle of a wood-burning fire in a distinct oven where Neapolitan pizzas are perfected.
Coming out.
It's a winning formula for Punch Pizza that's garnered devoted fans.
And the crust and the sauce are just delicious and to me can't be beat. And then the kids really like to watch the pizza be cooked in the brick oven.
I like having the whole thing to myself.
With its 9th store opening later this month in Maple Grove,
There's a lot of pin-up demand.
Punch Pizza and business co-owner John Puckett are capping off a big year of growth and national headlines after their decision to raise the minimum wage last fall got a mention in the State of the Union address.
John just gave his employees a raise to $10 an hour, and that's a decision that has eased their financial stress and boosted their morale.
We decided that we simply cannot do the best job we can do if we don't have the best compensation.
Puckett, who started Caribou Coffee in the 1990s before selling the chain, says the decision at Punch Pizza to raise the entry-level wage was an important one because it fit into an overall workplace culture.
But we think it's a great investment to make because we're investing in quality.
Good employees like 24-year-old Kyle Meyer can work their way up to manager cook positions, which start in the mid-$50,000 range and can grow into $100,000 positions as a general manager.
Within the first year, I knew that it was something that I wanted to progress and further myself in Punch. It was becoming a cook and then becoming a manager of my own store.
And it's going to be beautiful.
For John Puckett, who has a track record of business success, the success at Punch all comes down to passion.
If you really like what you're doing and you hire people at your company that like what they're doing as well, work is actually fun.
Punch Pizza is set to open up on June 30th. And Delane, what do you bet they're going to be plenty busy on that day?
I love their pizza.
I do too. It'll be fun to see.
Yeah.
Coming up on 12 News Weekend, a former Marine turned stained glass artist. We head to Maple Grove to meet him up next.
Then later in sports, highlights from Wayzata's repeat state tennis championship.
But first, a rainy start to your work week. Expect more showers on Monday.
Welcome back. A Maple Grove man has developed quite a hobby for himself.
Mac McMillan has developed a passion for stained glass art, and as Sonia Goins reports, you may have noticed his work around the Twin Cities.
This is my studio.
In the basement of this Maple Grove home
I spent a month cutting. There's about 700 pieces in that.
lies a menagerie of stained glass masterpieces.
Every piece you see, I call myself a puzzle maker in glass. Each individual piece is cut out of glass, and then each piece has to fit together.
Mac McMillan says deep down inside, he's always had a passion for art.
I've been at this glass for almost 40 years, so I make all my paper patterns. These are going to be hung. I've got some spots in the back where I'll hang them. You wrap each piece of glass with this copper foil tape. I have no idea how I got so involved in it.
But art wasn't his only gig.
I was called a crew chief.
Mac also served in the Marine Corps.
And so when he come back, then I'd go through the airplane again and go through all the different hydraulic, electronic stages.
While stationed in Hawaii, he fell in love with a stained glass window at a church.
And I was blown away. The colors, the sun was coming in, and I sat in this pew kind of backwards looking at this window.
He decided to teach himself how to make the pretty panels of colorful glass.
I don't know, it was just something that I felt I had to do. It was just weird.
He's been working his magic with glass ever since.
I've done a nice clean edge here.
You can see Max work all over the metro. He did the windows at St. Barnabas Church in Plymouth.
The lady said, "Can you do some Celtic designs for me?" And I said, "Well, sure."
He also created custom stained glass light boxes.
And it's been so much fun getting into it.
Max says he wants to keep growing as an artist.
Every piece you're trying to make it as best you can and make it better than ever before. Keep trying to improve yourself.
In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
You can check out Mac's works at the upcoming Maple Grove Days Art Fair, July 9th through the 13th. So have to look around and see what he might have done.
Beautiful work.
I think so.
Yeah.
Coming up, a Northview teacher with a lofty summer goal.
We'll show you what could be her crowning achievement. But first, the Armstrong baseball team flies into the state tournament. That story and more is coming up in sports with John Jacobson. Welcome back. John Jacobson joins us now at sports. Beautiful outside, and we have state tournament time.
State tournament time for baseball. One local team advancing on to play this next week. The Armstrong Falcons baseball team needed one to win this past week to claim the Section 6 3A title. After eliminating Wayzata earlier in the day, Benilde St. Margaret's took a shot at forcing a championship game, the second championship game, when they faced Armstrong. Top of the first inning, Benilde's Michael Kaminsky singles to right field. Keaton Studsrud comes around to score, and it's 1-0 Benilde. Armstrong starting pitcher Jack Wibben gets himself out of further trouble, though. He gets Marshall Hemke to pop up. Wibben the catch, and the Red Knights leave. The bases loaded. Bottom of the first inning, Wibben helps his own cause with a base hit to left, scoring Matt Bachmeyer. The Falcons score 3 times and lead 3-1 after one. They had 3 more runs in the second. Bachmeyer singles past third and into left field. Josh Thorpe scores, and when the Red Knights make an error out in the field, Troy Ouellette scores 2, and the Falcons go up 6-1 through 2 innings. Armstrong scores a pair in the 4th inning on 2 sacrifice flies. Bachmeyer driving in Thorpe here to make it an 8-1 game. Benilde puts up 4 runs in the 5th, scoring 1 on Chris Landis' ground ball here. It is bobbled. Hemke scores, but the Red Knights come up short on this day. For the first time since 2010, Armstrong is headed to the state baseball tournament.
It's a dream come true. I've been wanting that ever since a little kid, watching all the big kids doing it, and finally to get our chance and to complete the journey, it's unreal.
Wayzata's boys tennis team advanced to the state final for a 2nd straight year, and they had a rematch in the AA final. Minnetonka the opponent again in the championship match. Joey Richards for the Skippers, #1 singles, serving to Wayzata's Nick Beatty. And Beatty putting away a volley winner on his way to a 6-1, 6-3 win for the Trojans. Sam Tyson in the far court for Wayzata, #3 singles. After the lob and forehand, Tyson puts away a high volley for a point, and he beats Daniel Wheaton 7-6, 6-1. First doubles, Jake Strom and Steele Kowalczyk in the far court for Wayzata. They take this point and they go on to win a 3rd set tiebreaker to beat Nathan Abzug and Brett Erickson in the clinching match. Wayzata wins the state title, 5-2 the final. The state softball tournament wrapped up Friday in North Mankato. The Maple Grove Crimson faced New Prague in the Class 3A quarterfinals. After driving in a run in the 1st inning, Jordan Mock does even better in the 3rd. The single scores 2 runs, with Josie Roll the 2nd to come home. And the Crimson have a 3-0 lead over the Trojans. Sydney Smith is her usual dominant self. Smith strikes out 10 and allows just 2 hits in the game. Her catcher Mock has a huge day. She gets a hold of 1 in the 5th and drives it out for a 2-run homer. Mock is 3 for 3 with 5 RBIs, and Maple Grove wins 6-0. After beating North St. Paul 4-1 in the semifinals behind Smith's 2-hitter, the Crimson lost in the state championship game 3-2 to Lakeville South. It was a huge week of lacrosse section finals for local teams. The Wayzata and Maple Grove girls played a memorable final. Trojans and Crimson in the Section 8 Girls Championship. Second half, Izzy Shannon feeding Haley Schmidt, and Schmidt's goal brings Wayzata within 11-10. The Trojans would take a 12-11 lead, and then with under a minute to play, Maple Grove's Haley Herdine gets it to Claire McLean, who scores, tying it at 12. Each team scored in the regular timed overtime, and they go to sudden death. Maple Grove's Lauren Kaufman wins it there with a run to the net, a shot and a goal, and the Crimson win 14-13 to make state for the first time. More on those games, plus a look ahead to the state lacrosse tournament Monday on Channel 12 Sports Jam. In another one of those section finals, Section 7 boys title game, unbeaten Champlin Park going against Blaine. First quarter, Rebels Gage Monson off the post with a shot, but Dylan Fettig there for the rebound goal. Champlin Park leads 1-0. Good passing here, Justin Linderholm, Max Turgeon, Luke Dahlman for the shot and goal. 3-0 Rebels after a quarter. Second quarter, and Linderholm sets up Nick Bundy all alone in front for the goal. Champlin Park goes on to beat Blaine 9-2. Like the Rebels girls team, Champlin Park's boys are going to state. Many local teams headed to the state tournament. Champlin Park and Wayzata actually, and the boys will meet up in the quarterfinals Tuesday.
All right, I think we were talking about that earlier, just how much that's grown recently.
It really has.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, a junior high teacher prepares for a big competition.
We meet Northview's Rachel Laddiff and her quest for the crown.
A Northview junior high teacher just wrapped up her first year in the classroom.
Now Rachel Laddiff can set her sights on a big summer goal.
I need to try to hit the green pin.
On the last day of school,
It's bowling, it's not baseball, so you can't like chuck it.
this art class at Northview Junior High is more about fun and games than it is about learning.
Oh, that was really close.
But why wouldn't it be with summer vacation on the horizon?
Yeah.
For first-year teacher Rachel Laddiff,
I love learning about different kinds of cultures, so just coming to this school really helped open my eyes up even more. Nice try.
she admits this year was a growing experience.
My first year was just all about learning about the community here and learning about these students. When I first started, it wasn't easy, and it's not easy.
Engagement, relationships.
It might not have been easy, but Principal John Gronke says she's made quite the impression this first year.
Probably what impresses me most is her passion for art, her passion for helping kids see art for more than just,
You have creativity.
you know, maybe what I learned in art, and really have them appreciate and get a passion for it and that.
So these are all tools.
Yet while Laddiff prides herself on being an art teacher,
This is the traveling case.
she also wears a different hat, or to be more specific, a crown.
Yes, aside from being Miss Laddiff, I'm actually Miss St. Paul.
Laddiff earned her crown in January, which means that she'll now go on to compete for the Miss Minnesota title next week.
The thing that's so important about Miss Minnesota is that now I can take my platform that was at a community level and I can bring that to a statewide level.
Her platform is cultural competency, which revolves around using art to help students find and enhance their voice.
It's all about just getting students to want to make a change through their artwork.
Today, her reach is limited to Brooklyn Park. She hopes it extends beyond that.
With a supportive school and a little bit of passion, it can get you pretty far.
The preliminary competition for Miss Minnesota begins on Wednesday, and we're all rooting for her, I think.
That's right. Good luck, Rachel. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Have a great weekend.